Today I want to teach you that authors learn from other authors. Writers, or authors, ask the question, how does an author's choice affect the reader's experience? Then they use what they learn to improve their writing. Authors use mentor texts to help match author's intent with the page. Writers, for today's lesson, you will want to have the story 13 and a half by Rachel Vale in front of you. Take a moment to pause the video and make sure that you either print this story or have it open in another tab. First, I want you to read the story. Read with a lens toward the places that you were affected. Where in the story did you laugh? Did you want to cry? Or where were there parts that made you angry? Make sure that you mark these places. Either use a sticky note or if you printed out a copy, write right on the page. Be sure to think how you were affected by these parts. Go ahead and pause the video while you read the story and take notes. Okay, writers. Now I want you to consider if how you were affected was what the author intended, and if so, name it. For example, if you made a note in one section that made you laugh, I want you to think more about that response. Did the author want that part to be funny? But I want you to push your thinking. If you think that the author wanted a part of the story to be funny, I want you to think about something more meaningful and something connected to the whole. For example, maybe the author wanted to lighten the mood because something very serious was about to happen. And that's why she added the funny part. So not only think about, did the author intend for me to react this way, but then think about why. Then I want you to think, what did the author do to accomplish this effect? Was it in the character development? Perhaps something about the description of the setting or the choice of words that the author used? Could sentence length or punctuation have played a role? Was it the use of metaphor or symbolism? Let me show you one example from the book, from the text, and then you might want to try to organize something like this in your writing notebook as you go through your notes. So first, let's look at the Malamar scene. So as I was thinking about the author's intent and the effect on readers, it made me laugh. It definitely developed the characters. We got to know the characters a little bit better. And the author was using this to set up the action then that was to come in the story. So how did the author make this happen? I was thinking that the dialogue that she used was very realistic, and that definitely helped with the intent. The other thing that I noticed was the narrator's responses were short. They were short sentences, but Ashley's were long. Writers, you're going to pause the video next and do some of this work on your own. Create something like this in your notes where you can look at the places where you were affected, where you laughed, where you cried, where you were angry, and answer these same questions. What was the author's intent? What was the effect on the readers? And then how did the author make that happen? Try to do this for at least 3 of the notes that you made as you were reading. Writers, you can also do this with any mentor text. You can even take a picture book and see how the author is using techniques to impact how she makes her readers feel. Writers, you probably noticed that there was one more column on the chart that I shared. It was titled, Trying It in Your Own Writing. The moves that we saw in the text that we examined today, those can be used in your own writing when you want to accomplish a similar effect. All right, writers, time to go back to the lesson platform. In the next activity, you will be trying this in your own writing.